This is Joe Larson and Chuck Schultz, and you're watching the 5-Off, 5-On Racing Show, live from New York at Inravio TV. Tonight, I'm going to talk about safety, and I got some footage to show you, and I don't want to steal the thunder. You'll see what I'm talking about when we talk about safety. We got the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour going to Martinsville, along with the Cup, and some trivial things that we're going to be talking about when we come back.
Inravio.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
We've always talked about safety in racing, and it doesn't pay to go cheap. You know, I see posts on social media, if anybody's got a cheap fuel cell, anybody's got a used, seat belts, don't. The pictures you're about to watch.
Yeah, you know, you can't skimp, and you know what? A lot of people will try to, fudge the, there's no fudging.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you don't have enough money to buy the right safety stuff, then don't.
Then don't.
Then don't race.
Don't.
I mean, it's ultimately, that's what it boils down to. If you're not willing to spend the money on the safety, don't race.
Yeah, no, don't race.
I don't care, what the car is or how much you spent on this or that, the other thing. No difference.
No, and the sequence you're about to see, I'm not going to tell you the outcome until the last picture. We got some photos I want to see. It's a Formula One race. It's a wreck. Romain Grosjean, the Baja Grand Prix last November. Impact into the wall at 140 miles an hour. The car literally split in half. The driver is in the flame part. Safety crews got to him right away, and you'll see the flames. The safety crew's there. The driver is in that guardrail. He's in the guardrail. They're trying to get the flames out because they can't even get to him. They just can't. More footage of the flame. This was immense, the heat. This is what was left of the car after the impact. It's a Stewart Haas Automation Formula One car. It disintegrated the front end. As you'll see to the left of those two safety workers, the driver starts standing up. He is now fully standing, engulfed, surrounded by flame, stepping out of the car, stepping over the guardrail with no assistance at this point. Still, the flames are surrounding him, and now he is getting helped over the guardrail, all, I might add, on his own strength. They are putting the flames out on his racing uniform to make sure that he doesn't get any more burns. He walked to the ambulance. He walked with assistance to the ambulance, which he insisted on doing because his wife and children were watching the race, and he wanted them to know, along with the fans, that he was okay. Now, if he would have went to Harbor Freight, got a helmet, and racing shoes,
Harbor Freight with the 20% coupon, and it was only $3.99.
Oh, and you can't chintz on safety. You just cannot chintz on safety. I can't stress this enough. If you go out and you get that $99 fire suit because your racetrack says, your weekly track says, you have to have a fire suit. So you go to some parts place or online, and for $99.99, you got a nice fire suit.
The cotton fire suit that somebody went with some spray or something.
Yeah. That once you wash it, it's useless.
It's
and
over.
It says so right in, when you rip that out of the bag, and that little cardboard piece that's in the bag, it tells you how to care for it. If you don't read that suit's only good for one event. Go out and spend the $3,000-$4,000, and I don't care if you're in the entry-level division or the top echelon of any racing series. Get the best fire suit that money goes. If you cannot afford to go out and get the best fire suit,
Then don't race.
don't race. Sit in the grandstands.
Don't race until you get it.
I-
That's the
I-
first
I've
thing you
said-
should, and I
Yeah.
shouldn't say the first thing you should purchase. Once you're ready to race, then you go out and get it, because all that stuff has a life expectancy on it.
That's right.
You know, we're talking about the fuel cell, you're talking about the halon, the fire extinguisher inside the car.
Yep.
That's all got to be updated. You're talking about the helmet. You know, I bought a helmet, I used it maybe once or twice, and it's outdated. Brand new. You look at it, it looks like it came right out of the box. And it's got the radio in it, the whole thing. It's junk now because it's 25 years old.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
can't
garbage.
use it. Can't use it. Yeah.
No.
The fire suit, I mean, the fire suit's good for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I got a 3-piece fire suit,
Yeah.
you know, one of the better ones, you know.
Yeah.
And,
And I
but
know
all of it, I mean, you know, if you're not buying the best,
you
you
have
know,
to.
if you're not buying the best, you're not going to be around to go up to the next division and go
Yeah.
up to the next division and win the next race and whatnot. And
Yeah.
you're cheating yourself.
You're cheating yourself. And
your
I-
family too. God forbid something happens to you.
And I came across those photos today, and I was like, you know what? It's been a long time since we talked about safety. And I'll tell you what, you know, I look at, and please, I'm not condemning anybody, putting anybody down, but I've been to a lot of racetracks in North America. And a lot of times and often in the, I don't want to say lower divisions, but the non-top feature divisions, you see guys and gals walking around in their fire suits, full of grease, full of stains, ripped, torn. And if you say anything to them, they say, well, the rules say I have to have a fire suit. I have one.
And here's my fire suit.
And
yeah.
this is it. And, you know, it has the SFI thing on the sleeve.
Sure.
And that suit, some of these suits, I'd be afraid to be near the welder wearing because they would light up with the grease and John. Because I was, and don't
And
get me
it's
wrong.
amazing. You know, you don't know how quick that stuff will get.
Oh,
You know, get on what you're doing. I mean, I have and this is not a fire suit story, but it's the same story. You know, if you're working with the fire suit on, you'd be surprised. You're wiping your hands. It doesn't have to be, you know, like, you know, wringing out oily gasoline. You know, it doesn't have to be like wet, you know, where you know what I mean? It's there.
Right.
I have a habit when I work on a race car, I always have a shop apron, you know, like a carpenter's apron type of thing, because I put in my measuring devices, my marking devices and things like that, you know, and I wear a jumpsuit to keep clean because I'm always sliding under the car and stuff. And I'm welding one day and they come up to me, they grab me by the shoulder and they're like this, my apron's on fire, because, you know, you're always wiping stuff, you got the, you know, the metal that always has some kind of oil on it when you're fabricating. You know, when you're carrying the metal and you're trying to fit it and stuff, sometimes you use, you know, your midsection to hold it up. And they got on there and my apron's on fire.
right.
Just from a little welding spark. So, you know, that's
Exactly.
very easy to do with a fire suit as well, and just defeats the purpose of the fire suit.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and like I said, and I'm sure you've seen it yourselves when you go to your local racetrack, guys and gals walking around the pits with fire suits that still say the Winston Racing Series on them, which is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And you have to concentrate on safety. Even the shifter boot has an expiration date. The window net has an expiration date.
The belts.
And a little known fact that a lot of people do not know, and I do know because I was for 3 years the safety director for the NASCAR Wheeler Modified Tour up in the tower. When a race car hits the wall at high impact and everything does its job, we made them throw those belts away. And here's why. The hardware attached to that belt, once you tighten it all up and pull it down and pull it, and it's all tight and you can't move, on impact, the metal, the friction of the metal rubbing on the belt burns that spot. You don't see it until you move the clasps and the brackets. You don't see it. And I'll tell you what, if you see that, you could peel the belt by hand. It's burnt. Not a lot of people realize that. when our guy who went to the cars after they crashed and took pictures and measurements and sent it down to the R&D center, they took the belts. Those teams didn't get those belts back. They're garbage. So go look at your belts, peel them apart, look and see if you have any of those marks. Because if you do, the belts are no good. Go to your local parts supplier and get another pair.
Yeah.
Nothing, and I say nothing, should be chinced on with safety.
And really, when you talk about it, what are we talking about? $150 for a set of belts?
For the best.
You know, and ultimately, if you've been in a couple of halfway decent accidents, and I don't care how wide that belt is, you know, a typical seat belt in a car is a 2-inch, right?
Right.
So what do you got, 3-inch in that one?
3.
So they're gonna stretch.
Yeah.
Not, you know, they're gonna stretch. You get into a good accident, you know, you got 200 pound, or, you know, like me, you're over 200 pound. I was pushing probably almost 300 at the time. You get into a good accident, that's a lot of, you know, force going forward.
Exactly.
You're gonna stretch the belts themselves before
Right.
you even chafe or
Right.
even burn out the belt.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad idea to replace that every year.
Right, it's not.
Just for the sake of it, on your own. Forget about what the rules say.
Yeah.
The rules is the bare minimum.
Right.
That's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you can't do better.
Yep.
That just means that that is the bare minimum.
Bare minimum. And you don't want the bare minimum. And for those guys and gals who have race cars, they don't have a shop or place to keep it, and they keep it on their trailer covered all winter long. The belts
Belts
dry
are done.
rot. They
The window
dry
net,
rot.
done. Garbage.
Finished. Get that stuff out of the car and put it
Put it in your house.
Yeah.
Put it in a heated and an air conditioned space, a conditioned space. You can't leave it out on a car.
No.
You know?
It just dry rots. Just like when you leave the tires on the car on the trailer in your backyard all winter long, or for 4, 5, 6 months.
Done.
The tires are dry rotted too. So
You're not going to race on those tires.
do
right?
it right.
So why
folks.
would you race with those belts?
Yeah, do it right. Do it right. I want you to get home after your race. I want you to be able to go to work on Monday, and this way, when you come home from work, you watch our show. And I don't mean to be funny about it, but I was injured in a race car, and it's 25, 26 years later.
A long time
I
ago.
still suffer the ill effects. Not that I didn't have the right safety equipment. I had the right fire suit, the right helmet, the right shoes, and everything.
And that might have saved your life.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what we want to be able to talk about how great you're doing at your weekly racing series, and how you're
Right.
moving up to this division, and how you're moving up to that division, and how you're the next big star. And
Yep.
we want to be able to do that. We can't do that if you're all whacked out because you didn't have the right safety stuff.
Exactly.
So we want everybody to be safe out there. Ultimately, that's the most important thing that you're going to get out of the sport. I know the fun is there. I know it's racing, but you got to be safe. They got to be safe.
Gotta be
That's
safe.
number one thing.
Anyway, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some dirt racing and NASCAR style, and a little unknown fact that many people don't know about when we come back.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey,
we're
what's
set it
oh,
up.
I said was gonna say what's up for some reason. Hey, we're set it up, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Hi there, this is Buddy from Less Than Jake, and you are listening to Inravio TV. You're probably watching it too.
back.
Welcome back.
So Bristol in the Dirt was a couple of weeks ago. There was no racing this past weekend due to the Easter holiday and Passover. But dirt. Now, prior to last weekend's event on dirt at the Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee, the last NASCAR Cup event run on dirt was at the half-mile North Carolina State Fairgrounds in Raleigh, North Carolina in 1970. The race was won by Richard Petty in a Plymouth owned by Don Robertson. Now, years ago, and when I say years ago, up to 40 events back in the 50s, 60s, and whatnot, 40 events were run annually on dirt. And that in 1970 saw the last two on the half-mile Columbia Speedway in South Carolina, and the last event, which was just mentioned. Richard Petty won 2 of those, the last one and one in Columbia, with Bobby Isaacs winning the other. It has been announced that Bristol will have a dirt race again next year in 2021. So it should be interesting to see this transition that's going on with the dirt. Now, I don't know how everybody felt about it, but
I kind of got what they were doing.
me too.
But at the same token, it was a little on the dopey side.
It was.
Because it's like you're taking this 3,500-pound stock car and trying to throw it on the dirt and get it to go through the corners.
Right.
And, you know, they got the big grill that's all covered up in dirt, and they got the Velcro, peel it off, and the guys can't see where they're going. And next thing you know, they come around the corner and somebody stopped there and they pile up.
Right.
You know, I'm thinking if you're going to run them on dirt, then give them dirt cars. You know, even if it's a dirt modified type of a car, you know, like, you know, Gordon and Boyer took a car out, right, to try the track. What did they do? They took out a dirt car.
Yeah.
That's what they should be running.
That's what they should be.
You know, well, you know, and on social media, guys were like, hey, you know, how come they're not running screens? Why they didn't pull the windshields out and run screens? Well, because, you know, true to form, back in 1950, when they ran the last dirt race, it was run with a stock car with a windshield.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were also running with wingtip shoes, you know, and a bucket seat with no seat belts, too. You know, that doesn't mean that that's right.
And pleated trousers and,
Right,
button-down shirt.
Right, correct. It doesn't mean that was the correct thing to do.
Exactly.
Just because they did it back then.
Right.
You know, I would think that in the last 70 years we learned something.
Yeah.
And safety being number one. Now, these guys are driving blind because they can't see. They come around the corner and they just drive until they can't go anymore. And they're like, oh, I guess that must have been a wreck.
Yeah.
Because they can't see it.
Can't see it. And when you look at it, when the Friday night when it started raining, it was a little drizzle, okay, the track was wet, and they did one lap, and every truck windshield was totally covered, and they realized we're
Can't
going to
do
have
this.
to run this another day.
Sure.
And that, you know, we talked about that a little bit last week. But when you think about, you know, and I'm going to say this, the problem with the higher echelon in NASCAR today, with all due respect, they've never turned a wrench and they never drove these things. So how do you make decisions like that when you've never done it? We could all sit around the table. You know what would be ideal? Let's race in dirt and let's see how that goes.
Yeah, but you know, that was a good choice. I think that was a pretty interesting choice. I really like that. I think what would have been a nicer choice would have been, let's go to a place that does this all the time.
Yes.
With people that do this all the time.
All the time.
Not like we're building a facility from the ground up and learning everything from the ground up. I'm sure they had people in there that have done dirt before, but you're building a facility for a one-off run or a couple of races. It's just, that's a lot to take in. And then the racing surface was okay, right? And you had Christopher Bell. He was so good at the competition caution that he's sitting in the pits, no tires, no adjustments, No, nothing. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
They went out there and they sprayed water all over the outside groove. He goes out there, first lap, spins, gets into a big wreck. Everybody piles on top of him.
Yeah.
Because it's like they changed what the guys knew coming in. Now going back out, it's a totally different track again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you got some guys there. Of course, there were the ringers that ran on dirt before, and but you had guys that were just getting accustomed to the track, and now you go out there and you're spraying water all over the place, change it all around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the thing I didn't like about it altogether, I thought it was very interesting, and it was a good first, give it a shot, right? But not saving the dirt to do it again, that's not, I think let's find a place where we can really do this.
Yeah.
But the thing that really got me was that they had to pull a safer barrier off in order to do this, because the dirt would have ruined the safer barrier. Now, keep in mind, we talked about this last time, that they only raised it 1 foot on the outside because they raised it 9 foot on the inside to change the banking.
Yeah.
But you've got a wall at a racetrack that you've just lowered physically by 1 foot because you raised the track by 1 foot. So now what's going to keep that car from going airborne over that fence if he hits nice?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You got 1 foot less wall basically in order to make that happen. It was just go to a track where they do this.
And one of the things that a lot of people don't realize when they have the barriers, and you don't see it that good on TV, but in person, the banking angle of the racetrack, whether it's a straightaway or the corner, is the same for the wall, so that when the wall meets the pavement, it's a 45-degree angle. It's perfect. And once they changed the banking in the track, they didn't change the wall. So
The angle of the wall.
how cars didn't go airborne when they hit is thank goodness they didn't. But you look at these things, and like I said, I'm going to blame the bean counters in the corporate office. What were they thinking?
I don't know if the bean counters were counting, because I'm going to say it costs a lot more money to make that
Oh, it
happen
did.
than to just go to a track
It
that
did.
does it and say, let's do it here.
But the cost.
And you know what? Those tracks probably would have been more than tickled to have you come.
Yeah, but
You
the cost of that, I don't want to call it an upgrade, that change, is NASCAR didn't say, here's a check, go do this. The way those deals work is, and I'm going to say Bruton Smith at Bristol Motor Speedway
He wanted to be the first one to do it.
I want to be the
Absolutely.
first one.
Yeah.
Let's do it at one of my racetracks,
Oh,
and Bristol
absolutely.
is the best.
Absolutely.
Because you couldn't do that at Martinsville. It's a
Because
flat track.
he wants to do it at the smallest track he can. That's less dirt
Exactly.
and everything. Just in his
Exactly.
mind, that's a smaller project.
You know,
You don't want to be doing that at Charlotte. That's a
Right.
lot of dirt.
And I've been to a lot of dirt races. I've been to New Egypt. I've been to Volusia. I've been to Cottage Grove Speedway when it was out in Oregon. I've been to the indoor races when they had one in dirt in Allentown. And you're like this, you're
In the stands, you're getting covered. Yeah.
getting killed.
I've only been to a couple, but the ones I have been to, yeah, you're getting pelted.
You're getting pelted, and there should be there's a screen up, a safety barrier, but there should be a finer mesh so that it's not going into the grandstands, hitting people, hitting them in the face.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, you got to go with glasses or goggles or something
without
to
a doubt.
protect yourself.
Without a doubt.
It's I'm just knock on wood. I'm glad that nobody really got hurt. You know what I mean? It came off okay.
It did. It did, and well
that
enough
was
that
really my main concern, because it just didn't
they
seem.
decided, let's have another one next year, and that's not the end of it. And I know they ran the trucks at Eldora, at Tony Stewart's racetrack, on the dirt, and yeah, they went through their growing pains, but now they've got it kind of down, and they got the right tires and the right springs and setup. And I'm sure if you took the bodies off, you're probably looking at a dirt cart setup underneath, even for the trucks. But it's something that, in my
But
opinion,
the body itself, I mean, how high off the, what were the rules? Did they let him bring the body up a little bit?
I don't know.
What would a specific, just everything.
I was trying to find that, but I didn't see it. I just didn't see it. Anyway, it's one of those things when you sit back and, wow, whose idea was this, and who gave the go ahead, and now there's only 3 tracks that are allowed fans. It's Talladega, Texas, and in Bristol, and it's still no fans in the seats, and it's just I don't know.
So Jim asks, he goes, do E-racers need fire suits?
E-racers.
Yeah, if you're sitting in your underwear there racing on.
Oh no, you could.
But no, let me answer this, because I'll tell you what, if I was, and I've been thinking about this, because I don't think I'm going racing again. But let's say I was going to go to do the e-race thing. Don't you want to? Most of these guys get the real seat. They get the real wheel.
My son-in-law has it's like
It's a whole setup.
A cutout of a car. It looks like.
All right, so if you're doing that, wouldn't you want to be sitting in the fire suit with the helmet?
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't you want to get the fire suit with the helmet?
I'm thinking.
Get the whole experience, the gloves, the shoes, the whole deal.
The whole
Feel like you're in a car. I'm surprised. I'm surprised they don't blow heat in on you so that you can feel 140
No, some they
degrees.
do. If you go for the full setup, and Brandon McReynolds had that. He drove an ARCA
With the
car,
heat, the whole deal?
He had
An enclosure. You were in a car. You were in basically a car.
Well, it was. He had 3 screens, so this screen showed like what was over there going by him. This one was out this window, and what was in front of him, with a rear view mirror that shows what theoretically what was behind him. The seat, whatever the car did, the seat did.
Right.
And they had these blowers on him. Now, I don't know if it was blowing hot air.
Feel the heat though.
But
You should, because that's all, everything, fatigue, that's all part of it. If you're going to run the real race, then let's do it, man. Suit up.
I'd put one of my old fire suits on.
Suit up and
Without
show
doubt.
up. Absolutely, man.
I'd have
Absolutely.
some fun with it.
You'd be able to run a 3-hour race,
Yeah.
go in and have a burger and sit down and take a nap.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have to worry about towing for 2.5, 3
Yeah.
hours.
And you have your buddy, and you have to set up in your den or your basement and sit in the chair,
Absolutely.
spotting for you.
There you go.
I mean,
Inside, clear.
Clear.
Why not?
Hold your line.
I mean, hey, if you're going to make it, right, do it.
And
And not for nothing, I'm sure you can probably win just as much money with the e-racing as you could.
my daughter Erin e-races with her cousins and friends and strangers, and they may want to put their fire suits on just to get
I
the
would
full
think, get the whole,
gamut.
that's what I'm saying, feel it, right? Put the belts on.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't want to put that, of course you'd want to put the belts on. What, you going to be sitting there in your underwear? That's not fair.
No. In your pajamas,
What
cup
are you
of coffee
racing
on the ground.
What are you racing in Hawaii or something? What's going on?
I want to get one.
I'm racing in a Speedo over here. I'm going to take a wave in a couple of minutes.
I want to get one. I'm looking at houses, and I want a 2-car garage, not to keep the cars, just to keep the toys. I want to get one of those racing simulators. I want to get my Pac-Man game and all of that stuff. Like we used to have in the shop years ago.
Oh, that old yeah. Well, we had the ultimate shop over there. You can't, it's hard to beat. I missed that shop.
Yeah. We had some.
That's hard to beat. Well, drive
We
safe.
had some fun.
Take care.
Oh well. Well, that's how that went. So again, NASCAR's going back to dirt. 50 years later, kind of going backwards.
You know what I would like to see? Of course, they'd have to change the course because they can't do what they're doing now. But the beach course.
Yeah.
Half on, half off.
Yeah.
Right? That would be interesting.
Oh, without a doubt.
That would be, we couldn't really get bleachers around there, but that would be interesting, wouldn't it? That would be very interesting.
Oh, Jim is saying, we're pretty funny, but seriously, he meant for the electric vehicles. Well, Jim, in 2021,
Oh, for the electric vehicles?
they will be running electric vehicles.
But they're not electric, right?
Huh?
They're not electric cars.
Yeah, there's no fuel.
What do you mean there's no fuel? You're talking about the 2021 cars?
2021 car.
No, that's an e-fuel. It's not full electric.
No. We had a whole big thing on it at the show. It's all battery, no fuel.
I know we talked about that,
Yeah.
but then when you look it up in Wikipedia, they're using an e-fuel, that e-fuel.
Wikipedia isn't updated.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's going to be batteries, all batteries?
All
Is that what
batteries.
you're telling me?
And this is the sound they're gonna make coming off the corners.
Really? That's what they're going to do? So batteries, they're going to run with batteries.
Gonna be-
They
yeah,
can't do a
because-
500-mile race with batteries. can they?
I didn't think they could, but anyway, I don't know.
We'll have to talk about that next week. I'm going to have
Yes.
to do some more research.
A little more research.
Because I opened my mouth and I said something, and I'm like, well, that seems stupid, doesn't it? And then I went and I Googled it to see what was going on, and they were talking about e-fuel.
Yeah.
But you know what? Either way, and I thought the e-car, right, if it was a battery-operated race car, is a really, really smart play by NASCAR. Because anything that's, that's e-technology, that's green technology, you get money for promoting that. So they could be getting millions.
Oh yeah, and
Millions just for doing it.
and the teams are spending millions making new cars.
I'm sure they are.
So anyway,
Well, same chassis, right? Safety is going to be still the same thing.
single hub design for the
Right,
no
single
lug
hub
nuts,
design,
things of that nature. So anyway, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about the new Gen car and the testing that they had last week. When we come back.
Hey guys, this is Jibs from Ocean's 8, Alaska, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hi, I'm Remington. I'm Emerson.
And I'm Sebastian.
We're Palais Royale, and you're watching Inravio TV.
There we go.
Hey, this is Chris West Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Hi, this is Mike Jarecki from My Race News, and you're watching the Inravio TV Network.
Something, about the Gen car. So I might be kind of wrong. He just looked it up.
I wish you were right. But no, I see what he's saying. He wasn't talking about e-racing. He was talking about the e-cars, the next gen car.
Okay, there you go.
We stand corrected. He goes, very funny. He goes, very funny, but seriously. I'm sorry. I did think you meant like him.
I know Jim's a good guy.
Sitting behind your computer and racing, because that's the first thing that popped into my head. Because I've been thinking about that.
Yeah, me too.
So.
But Jim's into this like we are. Just that he doesn't race on racetracks and he doesn't have a show, and
it's all right.
He's more into straight end racing,
All right,
like point A to point B,
That's
and
all
then
right.
you push back. So anyway, so speaking of this, Luca, last Thursday NASCAR tested rain tires. No further information was shared with the media. So that tells me
That didn't work out.
it didn't work. Because if it did, there'd be all headlines and, Steve O'Donnell would be, talking, this is what we're going to use. No more rain delays. We'll just switch those tires. So anyway.
Well, I was at Pocono, running the road course at Pocono with the RCCA, the Race Car Club of America. I'm out there with Formula One, type cars, the Porsches, the Maseratis, the Ferraris, the race BMWs, and the ZR1 Vets and all of this stuff. And it's raining, it's pouring. So they have the drivers meeting, and he comes up to me because, here I am with, literally a race car with slicks on it, okay? And they had the meeting primarily to tell all the other drivers that the car with the 52, the number 52 on the side, even though he looks like he's got brake lights, those are decals. They're not real brake lights.
Yeah.
And the guy in front of me was like, man, that car looks mean. He goes, if I see you coming, I'm getting out of the way. He goes, so they asked me to go out and check the track during this rain.
Right.
And here I am on these slicks. I'm telling you, it was like being on ice. Because all these other cars, they didn't have slicks. Some of them did, but most of them, you know, they could swap out, you know, rain tires. You know, I didn't have any of that. We went up there with slicks.
Yeah.
So yeah, they called the race because of that.
No. So, and what else was going on in Chevrolet, Ford, and Toyota?
Toyota. I like the
Stand
Toyota.
corrected.
I like the Toyota part.
Toyota.
That's
Each
fun.
brought prototypes of the next-gen models for 2022. The cars were equipped with wheel force transponders for data collection. The test was conducted at Martinsville's 5.26-mile facility. The test was not NASCAR-led or sanctioned. It was led by the OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, Chevrolet, Toyota, and Ford, working together
Okay.
to bring out the best product that they could bring out in
They
2020.
might as well. It's pretty much the same car.
Yeah, because they have to, which a lot of people don't know, when the big three in NASCAR present a model style to NASCAR, this is what we're going to have as our car, and NASCAR goes to them and says, this is what we're looking for, and they come up with something. Those cars go to the R&D Center, which I was at to see this firsthand, not only with the cars and the trucks, and the templates are supposed to match. So you take a stock Ford Mustang out of Ford and put a template on it, and then you take the NASCAR Ford Mustang Cup car, the template across from the middle of the top of the car, they're supposed to match. I sometimes don't think they do. I think that they kind of play with that a little bit.
Kind of fudge it a little bit.
Because, you know, when you send these cars out on the track, and especially when you see cars testing, you can't tell what they are. You can't tell until they put the decal lights on.
Yeah.
The lights of tail lights.
They're trying to keep it on the track. They're trying to keep trying to keep them very much the same so that the cars are kind of like back in the day, right? The Race of Champions, where they would always have the same cars made by the same people, and then the guys would go out and they would run them, right?
Yeah.
And they have the IROCs.
You look at old finishes, you know, if anybody has old NASCAR yearbooks, and you look at the finishes, and, you know, in 1970, it said Richard Petty won in a 1970 Plymouth. You know, it didn't say, like now, it just says Ford, Chevy.
That's it.
Toyota.
That's it.
It
Yeah,
just
but
says
come on, you come out there with the Super Bee with the wing.
Yeah.
You were the hottest thing out there.
Exactly.
Now that's like, could you imagine what kind of circles they'd run around that? Well, probably not without the restrictor plate on that car.
And I'm still trying to find a Toyota in the street that's rear wheel drive.
Two-door.
Two-door V8.
Doesn't exist.
If somebody knows of one, just let me know, because, you know, I've never seen one. And I remember we're at a meeting and doing this, and I'm sitting there, and they said, does anybody have any questions? There's my hand, and there's my NASCAR boss. He's covering his face because he knows I'm going to come up with something like way out there. And I said, I'm a little confused. And everybody laughed. I said, what Toyota car has rear wheel drive, a V8, and it's two-door? The room went silent. Next question. Yeah, I walking down the hallway, I got a little talk with. Don't ask questions like that. Okay, I was like, I won't ask questions anymore. But I wondered that. I wondered that for the longest time. You know, years ago, if a guy wanted a Plymouth, you could go Monday and buy that Plymouth.
Yeah, those days are over, but they're trying to include everybody because there's so many different car companies now that, you know, if they can get them in. I mean, Dodge is even talking about a return to.
Dodge is talking about comeback. Honda is talking about trying to put a car together to come in.
Yeah, I mean, that's there's got to be a future there. And there's so many of these cars on the road that people are going to relate. You know what I mean? Win on Sunday, sell on Monday, but
That
still,
was the thing.
it's a big
you know,
thing.
you go back in the late 40s and throughout the 50s, you know, a guy went to his local car dealer, says, I need that car, I'm gonna race it. And all they did was chain the doors, take out the back seat, tape up the headlights, and go.
Some of them drove it to the track.
Yeah. You know, Lee Petty many times drove his cars to the track. And most of them did back in the day.
That was humble beginnings. That doesn't happen
Oh, yeah,
anymore.
humble.
That's, you know, that was humble beginnings.
Now,
It doesn't happen anymore.
I don't think these drivers today, most of them, have even been in the shop where their cars are built.
You know, it's a different business model now. It's a different animal altogether.
Yeah, it totally is. And you know, it's funny. The late Walt Edsel, who's been around racing had been for many, many years before his tragic, death. We were interviewing a gentleman who wanted to be a NASCAR official. And we're sitting, it was him, I, and this other guy, Mike, was sitting there, and the guy, he had all the right answers. He had all the right answers. So Walt Edsel goes, all right, Skip, we'll get back to you. Guy leaves. I said, not bad. He goes, yeah, he's a nice guy, damn nice guy. He had no dirt under his fingernails. But I don't want a guy that never worked on a car. I kid you not, he didn't hire that guy because he didn't have dirt on his fingernails. So I said, maybe he washed his hands before. That dirt, goddamn it, you don't get that dirt out. Because he talked almost like a Jimmy Stewart, Walt Edsel. Mm-hmm. And everybody was Skip, and because he didn't remember names, and I'll never forget when he said that. He wouldn't hire him as an official because he didn't have dirt on his.
He had a gut feeling.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I'm ready to make the guy, number 3 in charge, Nope. I voted on that one.
He had a gut feeling.
Yeah. But
that's a good thing sometimes, and you're able to pull that off. But
it is. And again, when you look at, guys who start at their local racetrack in whatever division, whether it's, a legend car, a street stock, whatever, and you watch them progress over the years and move up. Years ago, they had a shot at getting into the Cup Series. Now, these kids are 15, 16, 17 years old. And because daddy could write a big check, they're in. That's
because it's a different business model. And you know what? If you're 20s, you're already old for the Winston Cups. I mean, for the Cup Series. So it's, that's a shame of it all. You know what I mean? You got money now that we're retired. We might have some more money to make stuff happen.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do?
I know.
You maybe buy a team and let somebody else drive. I mean, that's the only thing you can really do. You can't be over the wall. You can't be a crew chief. You can't be a car chief. You're too old for this. You're too old for that.
Yeah. And you look at like the NASCAR diversity program, which is girls and minorities, and they really have a nice program going.
Yeah, but they don't include OGs.
No.
You go there for a job, they say, hey, drive safe. Yeah. Enjoy. And send you on your way. I mean, come on.
But you look at the drivers who came out of the diversity program, some of them are not that good.
Wow.
And they've been being promoted as being that good. And
you know what? That's the world we're in right now. That's why you're gonna watch your local news station, and the guy's not gonna be able to pronounce the words when he's reading off the teleprompter because it is what it is.
Hey, Kenny Hyde Jr., I believe he was a 2-time champion at his local racetrack. He just says sometimes he breaks a sweat when he's racing online.
That's why you got your beer in a cup holder.
There you go.
Am I wrong? Come on, Kenny, what are we talking about here? Come on, Goomba. What are we talking about here?
Oh, my God. Yeah, they're the good old days. We didn't realize how good they were. But when you look at what's the whole change of racing. Now you get these kids, all right, we're going to put you in an Xfinity car. Your first race is going to be Dover. They set the computer up, put you in a simulator, and you're racing Dover for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. No, not like years ago. You worked your way up, and I'll share a story. My daughter Jessica was EKRA champ car champion. And they had a rule, you could miss 2 races and have a substitute. Well, she broke her wrist playing soccer, so she couldn't steer. So my daughter Erin is gonna hop in. So I have the keys to the place, so I go to the racetrack like Friday afternoon, whatever, maybe even Saturday because racing was over. And I put cones up all with the line that Erin should run. And we practiced for hours until we had no more fuel left. And trust me, we had a lot of fuel. So we're driving home and we go to get in the house. Erin could barely walk because her back hurts, her legs are sore, her arms. So anyway, she goes and, the hot bath and whatnot. So now we got to go race. Now, because she's a rookie, she has to start in the back. Well, she works her way to the front. She's battling for the win. And she finished second. So the top 3 go to the scales. And it's a balance scale. So when you put your car on the scale, and the driver steps in it, as long as it levels out, you're good. So all of a sudden we're sitting there, realize Erin's 15 pounds lighter than Jessica. So I send somebody to the trailer and get my lead. So put 2 lead hockey pucks in one of her pockets in her fire suit, and she's, "No, you can't do that." We put a couple of pieces in the seat. We kind of just told her to hold one. So she gets in, and it goes. And it's barely touching. And I'm like, lean to the middle. So she leans, she goes, Dad. And, all right, you're good. Dad, we cheated. We didn't really cheat. We just forgot to put that lead on for you. And she still talks about that. It was just the fun we had back in those days, Anyway, we're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to talk about the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour going to Martinsville, back at Martinsville when we come back.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Mark Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, we're going to punch in the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
What's up, guys? This is Assuming We Survive, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So Jim says he's been a fan for 20 years. He's not excited about the next-gen car.
No.
I think that it's, what is this, 7? So we've already been through a couple of gens already.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference. I think, it's going to be pretty close to what you're dealing with now. I mean, small changes.
But we
they go into the single nut lug, hub, But it's still going to be an aspirated gas motor. It's not going to be,
one
battery.
of our-
It's just going to use E15. Chances are it's just going to sound a little different because of the octane on it. But I'm going to say they're probably going to figure out a way to bring that up or something in order to get the horsepower out of it.
Yeah, we did a show September, October where we went down all the changes that came from NASCAR. So we'll take a look back at that and see what we said and see what NASCAR told us.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be 358, cubic inch. It's still going to be a front engine car with rear wheel drive. So.
Hey, Kenny Hyde says he was in Long Island, the 2013 and 2016 figure eight champion, and he's going for the championship at Bethel in the Pro Stock division this season. He tore that place up, even better than I did. My average finish at Bethel was like 1.7. And I think Kenny Hyde was like pretty close to that too. So, congratulations. Wish you luck.
What's the Pro Stock division consist of up there? It's basically, is it a late model or a Charger car, basically?
It's in the middle.
It's in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like a Charger on steroids type of thing. It's still running an 8 or a 10. Are they running an 8 or a 10 there?
I think they're running 8-inch tires up there.
8-inch tires?
Yeah. So, he ran pretty doggone good up there. Anyway, Martinsville.
We did too.
Yeah.
When we went up with the camera crew.
Yeah, we did a good job that time.
We kicked butt, boy. We were the most of the show.
Yeah.
We were the biggest part of that show.
Yes, we were.
And that was the what was that? What's that, Legend Stock or something?
Legend Stock.
And I think we were the biggest part of that whole show.
Yeah. More people were watching us.
More people were watching us, boy.
But when I ran up there.
Because I make a big stink everywhere I go.
Oh yeah. So. But my first time in the modified at Bethel, my car owner was more concerned with videotaping, and I missed going out for my qualifying race. I missed it.
Yeah, well.
Okay, fine. But not any reason other than he wasn't there to go, hey, we're coming, because we had cars coming off the track, eyes going on, and I couldn't get through the mess. Well, I see the green flag waving, I'm like, are you kidding me? So they finally realized that I'm sitting there. So they yellow flag the race. Okay, they open the gate, and they go to me, they go, I'm 2 laps down. I'm ripping. Now, even though every car is qualified, I'm still ripping. So it's a 10-lap qualifying race. I lapped the field twice and finished second. Officials come over, hey, nice run, but, we don't run 3 wide here. We don't want to wreck cars. We barely have enough. Okay, fine, whatever. So, so I go out and I finished second in the feature, and go out another time. I lap the field again, win the race. Go out another time, lap the field, win the race. And I'm waiting for them to tell me don't come. Now they go race, they call me, you coming? You coming? So, but my
Were you doing like Herbie? Were you driving backwards and
I was having a good
lapping
time.
the field?
And in 22 figure 8 Bill Batch, I did not touch one race car. I didn't lay a bumper on nobody. I didn't ride anybody up. I didn't push anybody down. It was fun. It's nice to not have to fix stuff during the week.
Because it's an exhibition thing.
Yeah, well, it is and it isn't.
You're really there to just show
running.
off.
The only ones that run an exhibition is the New England NEAR, the New England Auto Races. The winner's predetermined. He starts last, and everybody just races in line, and then he comes through the field and competes, passes the second guy at But Long Island Vintage and the one that races here in Long Island, they rarely racing. They're moving, so it's kind of fun, But and the Garden State.
I don't like the fixing part.
Yeah,
too much like work.
Yeah, but anyway, modifieds. NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour will be at the Martinsville Speedway this coming Thursday, April 8th.
Nice. Televised?
Yes, but later on. Which I don't know. Why can't they do it live?
This is 2021. We can put that thing on now.
They record it as live, but then they fit it into the time slot. But 40 teams are entered, so that's a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
At least the last entry blank that I saw.
How many get the race?
Yeah.
How many get the race?
I can't get a straight answer. I've heard that all are in. I've heard 28 are in. I heard 32 are in. I know it's on the entry blank, but I haven't spoken to anybody that has a blank.
40 cars at Martinsville's a lot of cars.
Yeah. I know what we did
That's like a modified enduro.
Yeah. Most of them will take themselves out. But anyway, current Cup driver Ryan Preece will be driving the number 6 owned by Long Island's Ed Partridge. And Cup veteran Ryan Newman will pilot the 53, owned by Mike Curb. And NASCAR Hall of Fame driver Bobby Labonte will be in car 25 with no listed car owner.
Nice.
So it should be some race. It should be some race, I'll tell you.
Well, Bobby came from modified racing up north here, right? Didn't he?
Well, no, he was a Texas guy.
Was he Texas?
Yeah, him and his brother Terry, Texas Terry Labonte.
Right, Texas Terry. Yeah.
But Ryan Newman, if the Cup's there, when the modifieds are there, he hops in something.
Yeah, he's good at that.
He's usually competitive. But it should be an interesting show. They will be racing again Thursday night, April 8th, my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I was
23 again?
Yeah, something like that, times 3. I was going down to this event, but some other pressing engagement came up, and I cannot go. So if anybody's looking to go to the Xfinity or the Cup race Sunday, I still have 2 tickets, and they're pretty doggone good tickets. So
Yeah.
base value.
And we get 10% commission when he sells them, so give us a call.
Now, the next event for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour will be the Spring Sizzler at the Stafford Motor Speedway on April 25th for the Spring Sizzler, as I said. And I remind everybody that Stafford Motor Speedway is no longer carrying the NASCAR banner, and they have signed a one-event sanctioning agreement to hold this event. So the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour drivers will get NASCAR points, but it's a single event sanctioning agreement that they signed on to. So racing is back. Racing is back. Except for us. We just get to talk about it.
Racing is back.
Yeah, it's back.
So far.
So far. So far. I think we only have a couple of minutes left, so we're going to wrap this up. I'm not, the control room's not jumping up and down, so.
No, she can't jump up and down.
Oh, she can't jump up and down. Oh, man. I thought we at least got to get a stick. 2 minutes left. So
She can't even raise a hand up to give us the figure.
Yeah, oh, man. But it's all good. It is all good. But we're back. And show 450 will be in about 6 weeks. So we're trying to put together a nice show for that. It was scheduled.
As opposed to what we normally do every week, which is really not
I'll
nice.
replace.
at all.
It'll be a nicer show, you know, a much, maybe a tuxedo, you know, balloons. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
But yeah.
Balloon.
Yeah,
One
a balloon.
One balloon.
That we took off of a kid that was at the amusement park.
That's it.
But hard to believe we're doing this all these years.
Yeah.
Going on 9 years.
We'll give you a nice how do you do.
Yeah.
Drive safe,
Yeah.
enjoy.
You know, like after you retire after 40 years.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And speaking, my buddy Chuck here retired. He's finally retired after 40 years in the industry.
40 years in in the production industry, yeah. Running a sheet metal fabrication shop, yeah.
There you go.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it was bittersweet because you know what, the guys you work with, they become your family. All those guys who are there for 25 years or so, 20 years, all double digits, you know everything about them, their families, you grew up together. You spend more time with people at work than you do, with your family.
Yeah.
You know.
You do.
So.
Well, we want to wish you well on your retirement.
That's all
I know
right.
you have plans. You're not just going to sit back and watch cartoons, but
No.
maybe.
I don't even know the last cartoon I ever watched.
Yeah, I still watch cartoons.
I got a lot, Gave up one job, I still got 3 left.
Yeah,
So.
that's all right. It's all right, but you're
Plenty of
doing
work. Too
labor
much
of
going
love.
on. It's like there's so much to do and just not enough time to do it all,
Yep,
So,
it's all good.
yeah, it's all good.
We wish you well in your future endeavors, which start tomorrow.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here.
We still got the show. We still got.
Still got 3 more jobs I got to get
There
rid of.
you go. Anyway, so if you're headed down to Martinsville and you need tickets, I got some. If you're heading anywhere to watch some good racing, be safe, be careful. We'll see everybody next Monday night.
Get safety equipment, for God's sakes.
Don't make me tell you again.
Be good.
Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Inravio.com.